Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Gwen Aussem, and this podcast is all about creating an awesome life. Imagine you are the CEO of a company where you have thousands of well-paid employees who absolutely love their job, and what they can do for you is anything in your business or in your life. They'll do anything, they don't complain, they're happy to do it. Now, what if I told you you have this available to you right now, literally in this moment? That is the concept of a book I read this week called Hiring the Heavens, a practical guide to developing working relationships with the spirits of creation by Jean Slatter. Now, what this book really goes into is the whole idea that angels or spirits, celestial spirits that Jean says, are there that we can hire at any time to help us live a better life. I understand that this sounds a little bit out of left field, but if you have found your way to my podcast in this conversation, it's fun to listen to, perhaps with a little curiosity. That's how I picked up the book, because I heard the book was from, I heard about the book from Jean Slatter, somebody who has been on this podcast, who I really respect and admire, who, when working at the Oprah Winfrey Network, got to see all the experts of the times, working behind the scenes at the Oprah Winfrey Network. So whenever she recommends something and my curiosity is piqued, I just think, why not? Why not read it? So this book, Hiring the Heavens, I want to tell you on this podcast some of the really interesting and amazing stories that have unfolded in just a week by implementing the simple tasks of hiring celestial beings or spirits or angels. Also, if you've seen angels in the outfield, you know this is real. And if you don't think it's real, that's fine. I'm still wrapping my head around it, but I love that so far some amazing things have happened for me. Okay, so when you read the book, let me just take a little part from the book just so you can get a taste of it. So in the book, there's a section called Angels for Hire. And Jean writes, "My guidance wants you to know that there are thousands of unemployed angels. Don't ever think your problem is too trivial for you to call upon divine assistance. Don't ever think you might be bothering the celestial helpers. You are not bothering them. You are giving them a job." It keeps going. But I love the idea that we just have thousands of employees or unemployed angels just sitting around waiting for something to do. They would love to help you. They would be delighted to help you. At this point in life, we're going through something. Even talking to Penny Pierce, an author who was telling us about how we're going from the information age to the intuition age, something is shifting, and I am willing to ask for help. So in the book, it talks about asking for help with something simple and just easy to start. And so I thought, okay, what can I ask about? And what came to mind right away is my toilet broke. So when I in my bathroom, I noticed that there was like a bunch of dust collected weirdly behind my toilet. And I was like, ew, Gwen, clean your toilet. But then I noticed why that all this dust and dirt was being collected, because when you flush the toilet, basically it was like spraying water out the top of the toilet. And I just thought, oh my God, do I have to buy a new toilet? Do I have to buy, it was just like so annoying. And so what I did was just close the toilet lid, walk away. We'll deal with this later. And that's when I, thought, okay, maybe let's call on my spiritual director of bathrooms to help me clear up the situation. So unemployed angel who's in charge of pristine bathrooms, I'm going to need your help. So that was my first request. So I told Josh, my husband, that my toilet was broken and I thought it was cracked. And Josh went up to take a look at it, and wouldn't you know it, Josh went up and he opened the back lid of it, and he just said, oh, that's kind of weird. A tube was just sticking up when it just needed to point down. That's it. And it's fixed. And I just thought, oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, let's keep this going, shall we? And what I had been noticing this past week has just been probably one of the best weeks of my entire life, or definitely the entire year, because so much has happened. But I just want to share like just one more quick story. So it is September as I'm recording this, and there's that back to school energy that is up in the air. And I was really feeling so much split energy, and I really couldn't shake it. I was feeling kind of mad at myself because I have one foot on the gas pedal of grow my business, post on social media, make a better podcast, have a podcast strategy, respond yes to any business opportunities. And then my other foot is on the brake, basically saying, embrace motherhood, slow down, focus on your little son, Liam, spend more time clearing clutter and just tending to the home. So I had this foot on the gas, foot on the brake, and just, spinning out, just feeling kind of horrible for a little while. So then for me, what I would do when I kind of feel bad about myself was going to those coping mechanisms that are negative, that don't really feel great, like late night scrolling on Instagram or drinking beer just to try and stop the thoughts, not actually enjoy the beer. It's just like, stop the thoughts. Thank you. So what I needed to hire was a spiritual director of clarity. That's what I decided to hire. And my ask of this spiritual director is really just to help me feel clear on what I need to do every day for the highest good of myself and all concerned. And please, dear spiritual director, make it easy and obvious for me. So my guidance just the other day was to go for a walk with Liam, my son. And I live in a town just outside of a major city. And for 2 years, I always go on the same paths. But this day, I just thought, you know what? I've kind of feel like guided to go to more of the downtown area, which is really just a street. And I never go there because like nothing's happening, because I'm, a former city gal in my head. And I thought, I don't need to go to the downtown. They don't even have a coffee shop. So while walking, I had a remembrance that there's a building that I hadn't really been to before. And I was like, what is in that building? And when I decided to just go over towards that building, and I thought, oh my God, is this a coffee shop? And I noticed, for the first time ever, people are holding coffee cups, and there was kind of like a nice energy around the area. And I just thought, I'm going in. When I tell you, I went into this coffee shop and it was glorious. Such a high vibe energy, just beautiful decor. They were selling crystals, like they had huge amethyst crystals as part of the decor, artisanal coffee and tea for sale. I got this amazing Americano, and me and Liam just sat in there and hung out, and it was so friendly. Like people were like, oh my God, a mom and a baby. Like people were just friendly, waving. It was just so beautiful, such a beautiful morning. And then next, I was guided to check out my Google Maps. And I discovered that just 2 minutes away, there was a place that looked like a library that I'd never been to before. And I thought, why not go check it out? So turns out it's really a library, but on steroids. It is, or on green juice, if steroids are not good. But really, it's this beautiful building. And it just has a ton of activities for adults, for babies, amazing books that I could just take out. I got a library card for free on the spot. Amazing person at the front desk telling me all about this place. Her enthusiasm was absolutely infectious. And it's just so cool because I am a little bit isolated as a new mom. I haven't really tried to go find like other moms. I was like, I'm fine with that. I'm out here just doing my own thing, but I want to be the best mom I can be for my son. So it would be nice to like have him get to interact more with kids. And she handed me a pamphlet, and it just has all these amazing programs for mom and baby. And I just thought, wow, like I could have cried just how amazing that unfolded. And I took a tour around there, just had a nice afternoon getting a sense of this beautiful space that's within walking distance that I've never been to before. And I've lived in my home for 2 years. And then on my way out, I saw a community poster. There's all these posters, all this stuff happening in the community. I thought nothing was happening in my community. And it said, open yourself to a life of enriching experience. Sure, love to do that. And it was advertising that the library is looking for volunteers to, quote, bring joy to an isolated adult in just a few hours a week. This really called to me because if you've been following my Instagram, you know that Liam and I visited Liam's great grandma, Pat, recently, and she is almost 90. And visiting her and talking with her, it really was such an uplifting, humbling, joyful, loving experience. And I thought, wow, maybe Liam and I could talk to some folks in the community and just connect. I love talking to people. It's what I do. And it just felt so right as something to do. So I applied. We'll see how that unfolds. And the magic has just continued to unfold day by day. And I just wanted to share with you just that little snapshot of what's possible when an idea or a book, even if it sounds very strange, comes into your world and you say, I'll just read it. And this book specifically is such an easy read. It's not too long. I was able to read it. I got the sample chapter for free on Apple Books and then just bought the whole thing once I thought, there's something to this. And so highly encourage you to check it out. Like, why not? You know, even if it doesn't work for you the way you want it to, it's worth a shot. And it absolutely worked for me. And now I'm doing what Jean suggests, which is having a spiritual committee. And every time now I go for a walk with Liam, I'm talking to my spiritual committee. So if you see me on the street looking like I'm talking to no one, but I'm pretending I'm talking to the baby, which I kind of am because it's for all of us, that's what's happening. So if you do this, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Or if you're listening, message me on Instagram or shoot me an email because this is such a cool concept. And if you're somebody willing to try it, I'd love to hear how it goes for you. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. So excited to see what's going to unfold next week on the next episode and hope you'll listen. So thank you and have an awesome day.